Hey everyone, with our GMG review, it's part 2 of Dead Silence, the new expansion box set for Warhammer 40,000 Kill team that adds 2 new elite teams to the mix, the Space Wolf Scouts and the XV26 Stealth Suits. We're going to check out the Stealth team right now. Basically another Space Marine team, almost. Slightly less wounds. But if you want to think of them as a Space Marine team, that's probably the easiest way to do so. Space Marine shooting team, not melee team, because their stats are pretty similar. So what is the team? You're going to get 3 sort of picked for you operatives, and their core stats are pretty similar to each other. So we have the 2 drones, 2 APL, 6-inch move, 4+ save. They fly. And 7 wounds each, so kind of like guardsman stats on these guys. Twin pulse carbine on this one. It's 4 attacks, 4+, 4/5 ceaseless, and then a ram attack, which this guy also has, 3 attacks, 5+, 2/3 damage, a little punch. On the gun drone, this operative cannot perform any action other than charge, dash, fallback, fight, photon grenade launcher, reposition, and shoot. And whenever determining if it's controlling an objective, it's 1 APL lower because it's dumb, it's a drone. And it can't use weapons on its data card, so no using grenades. It won't throw grenades. Whenever determining what's visible, you do it from the top of the head because that's what's floating, and this operative is ignored for ops that have you kill and incapacitate things. They're basically expendable. And he's got a photon grenade launcher, like a little auxiliary grenade launcher. Select 1 enemy operative visible, and then roll a D3 or D6 on a 3+. Until the end of the operative's next activation, it's -2 move. So kind of like wounding it. But it can't do it when it's engaged. So it can just like flashbang somebody, which is kind of cool. And you always have to take this guy. You can also take the marker drone. Same core like restrictions, can only do the basic actions. You can't change its weapons. It has a marker light. Whenever an enemy operative is visible, is a valid target for this operative or is visible to this operative and within 2 of your ambush marker, it is marked. Whenever a friendly XV26 battlesuit shoots something that's marked, you get severe against it. Note that this operative can be a valid target of this operative even if the operative isn't the active operative. So basically, this guy like has a prepare ambush strategic ploy. He lets you mark stuff and his line of fire is what you determine it all from. You also get a marker light on one of the suits. And then our Shas'ui, our leader. So this is the same, the core stats are pretty much the same across the whole team. 3 APL, 6-inch move. They've got a 3+ save, so against Space Marine armor, and 13 wounds on this guy, 12 on everybody else. Burst cannons have focused or sweeping, so Torrent 1. You can up that to Torrent 2 on somebody though with one of your equipment cards. They're basically bolters, so 3/4 damage, force to hit, but they're all ceaseless, so rerolling 1s. 5 attacks on the focused, 4 on the Torrent, so you can hit multiple models. Other option for the build is a fusion blaster. So short 6-inch range, devastating 4, piercing 2 on the short range shot. Long range, so range 12, it's piercing 1 with 4/5 damage. That is incredibly handy and a reason to take fusion blasters because 12 inches is a 12-inch plus a 6-inch move is a long range gun in this game. Pulse pistol on top of that, 4 attacks, 4+, 4/5 damage, range 8, and then point blank for melee. It's got 4/5 damage and accurate 1. Now, let's talk about the other core stuff about this army. It's faction rules. First, you've got stealth field. So, I mean, he looks like a Marine. He's pretty cool. How about if when he had a conceal order, he's not visible, taking precedence for all other rules if he's more than 3 from enemy operatives. He predators out. He turns invisible. And when he's got a conceal order and he falls back, it's only 1 AP. So 1 less AP to fall back. Yeah, being in stealth for these guys is bananas. You can't be attacked outside of 3 because you're not visible. So unless attacks ignore visible like range or like have area of effect, you just can't be shot. And then you have Kion, it's your fighting style. Based upon where people are being attacked, you get the accurate roll to reroll anything. So not just they're relentless. If they're within 3 of your territory, they're accurate 1. In your territory, accurate 2. Within 3 of your drop zone, accurate 3. So as soon as they start coming towards you, your guns get increasingly accurate. And those are your 2 faction rules that everybody gets. So remember, these guys don't have the stealth ability, so you need to hide them for using their guns. But all of the XV26s can just turn invisible. And we've got all of our basic stats on the infiltrator. He's the core of this, the basic dude. The one you'll probably never build, but you could say if you really wanted to take one that any of these guys counts as. Burst cannon or fusion blaster, has fists, so 3-4 damage, 3 attacks, 4+. Like again, fights like a Marine, but doesn't hit on 3s. And then his covert protocol means he can still counteract when he's concealed, but he can only do pick up and place markers during that as mission actions. We have our designator. He's got a marker light. So again, whenever an enemy operative is a valid target to this operative or is visible to this operative within 2 of your ambush marker, that'll be a ploy, it's marked. Same thing, other people shooting at it, get the severe roll. And he's got all the same core stats and all the same weapon options. The lodestar, I just want to say lines from Spaceballs. He's got an electrochaff launcher. So once per turning point, when an enemy operative is performing the shoot action and your opponent selects a valid target, you can use this rule providing this operative isn't within control range of the enemy. If you do until the end of that action, whenever an enemy operative is shooting a friendly XV26 operative that's both visible to and within 3 of this operative and more than 2 from the enemy operative, and again, you could be concealed, ignore piercing and they're obscured. So you basically just once per turning point throw out a chaff thing that blocks shots at somebody who's exposed. Really cool because you leave this guy in conceal and have him doing mission actions. And then when someone's shooting your active models who are actually up and engaging, so they've lost their like stealth field, he makes them obscured to be shot back at. Very cool. And he's got a homing beacon. This operative is carrying your homing beacon marker. Operatives, excluding drones, can perform the pickup action on this marker. The first time an enemy operative performs the pickup marker action on your homing beacon, discard that marker and remove it from the battle. So they can be destroyed by the enemy. In the ready step of each strategy phase, when you gain CP, if your homing marker is on the table, roll 1d6 if it's more than 6 from your drop zone, 2d6 if it's within your opponent's territory, and 3 if it's within 6 of their drop zone. On a 4+, get an additional CP. So dropping that thing basically, this guy's never going to uncloak. He's going to go around, drop the homing beacon, and then like hopefully hide nearby it and just mark guys out with the chaff launcher. He'll be like a late game does something, but for the most part, he's going to support the other guys. The neutralizer, again, same weapon options, and he's got a multi-spectrum sensor package for support. Once per turning point, when an enemy operative is visible to and within 8 of this operative and is activated, you can use this rule. If you do, each friendly stealth battlesuit operative within 3 of this operative can immediately produce one of the following, either free dash in order of your choice or change its order. So they could all just recloak. Yeah, that's insane. So you could like reveal everybody, right? Become engaging, shoot everybody, and then as soon as somebody else activates next to you, just recloak everybody. And they all disappear. Each friendly operative that performs a dash action can't end their move within 3 of the enemy operative. And you've also got system jam for 1 or 2 AP. You can select an enemy operative. If you're concealed, this costs you 2 AP. It's 1 otherwise, and then you can remove their APL down by 1 for the next activation. And finally, the Liberator, same core weapons, but he's got an EMP bomb, and he can use the universal frag, crack, smoke, and stun grenades. So the EMP round is 4-inch range, blast 2, devastating 1, heavy reposition only, and then lethal 4+, limited 1, and saturate. So he's going to get that devastating 1 off on 4s. 5 attacks, 3+, 2/2 damage. And that's it. So those are your guys. Again, can't be shot at from outside of 3 if you're concealed. Ton of utility for guys to stay concealed with, like dropping that CP generator. And let's talk about what you can do with those CPs. So good doing mission options, obviously super deadly ranged weapons. And as they advance towards you, you get more accurate, even though you've already got relentless on everything, if you're taking burst cannons. All right, first one, patient hunters. Whenever a stealth battlesuit operative is shooting against or fighting against an expended enemy operative, won't be very often until you're counteracting. That friendly operative's weapons have the balanced weapon rule, and its ranged weapons have the saturate weapon rule. Bonds of Unity, whenever a friendly XV26 stealth battlesuit operative is activated, excluding drones, and it's visible and within 6 of another one, you ignore any modifiers to that friendly modifier's APL stat and select one of the following. Ignore change to its move for being injured or ignore change to its hit stat. So basically, Bonds of Unity, it's kind of like a transhuman physiology or and they should know no fear ability for Marines, but it's based on you being near each other, and you can only do half of it typically. Prepare ambush, put one of your ambush markers that look like that wholly within your territory and more than 2 inches from enemy operatives. Whenever a friendly battlesuit is shooting an enemy operative that's within 2 of the marker, you can use this rule. If you do, remove the marker, and that friendly weapons have the seek weapon rule until the end of the next phase. In the ready step of your next strategy phase, if that marker's still in the kill zone, take it away. So basically you can like mark a spot on the table like near an objective that you know they have to move into, and that means when they're in there, they get the seek rule against them. Hollow wave countermeasures. Whenever an operative is shooting at a friendly battlesuit operative more than 6 away, in the roll attack dice step, the attacker must discard one of their unresolved normal successes, or one of their critical success if it's not, it isn't cumulative with being obscured. So basically you can be obscured or this. And that's it for your strats. And then your firefights that can happen during the turn. You get vectored retro thrusters. Use this firefight when an enemy operative charges you. Interrupt that action to use this rule. If you do, that friendly operative can immediately perform a free fallback action, but it can't move more than 3 inches during the action. Then the enemy operative can immediately perform a free reposition action using any remaining move from the charge, and can do so even if it performed an action that prevents it from performing the reposition action. So basically it's to use the leftover movement afterwards, even though you've like bamped away. You got Ghost Shroud. Use this firefight ploy at the end of the friendly battlesuit operative's activation. If that operative has an engage order, change it to conceal. You cannot use this ploy for each friendly operative more than once per battle. And then engage Jetpack. Use it when it's activated or counteracts. Until the end of the activation, you can ignore the vertical distance once during a climb or drop. And then finally, Savior Protocols. Use this firefight ploy when a friendly XV26 battlesuit, excluding a drone, is selected as a valid target of a shoot action. And select a drone, the drone just jumps in front and becomes the target instead, but it won't have any effect against blast or torrents. Basically, you can send the drones to come take the hits. All right, and last but not least, we continue in the tradition of like, man, people sure do like having equipment that's hard to deny because the equipment, again, is real good. You got multi-trackers. Once per turning point, when you're performing the shoot action, you can select a burst cannon that's sweeping to be torrent 2 instead of 1, so you can like extend your sweeping rule. Counter network jammers. Whenever you're controlling an objective with 1 model and there's 2 enemy models also controlling it, they both count as being 1 APL less each. But it has to be that combination. So it's going to be you, and they can't be a drone either. So if you have 1 suit on an objective and 2 other enemy models, both of them go down by 1. Remember, you're 3 APL. So basically what it means is 2 APL guys can't out-contest 1 3 APL suit. Black Sun filters, you don't discard a dice for someone being obscured, but all the other obscured rules work. And then hardwired target locks. Whenever you would counteract, you can do so with a friendly XV26 battlesuit operative that has a conceal order and is more than 3 from the enemy. But before it counteracts, it has to change to engage and can only make shoot actions. So basically you jump in and start shooting people. So man, what a shooty like faction. You're probably not getting a lot of variation out of the team. But you are literally invisible until you choose not to be. And as they run towards you to get you to be visible, you get more and more and more rerolls. I think probably a mix of probably early game fusion blasters on like your Shas'ui. Yeah, on like some of your guys, and then pulse rifles on everybody else is probably gonna be important. And I think I forgot the Shas'ui special rules. They've got a drone controller, a gambit. They can select one of the drones to ignore the first 2 bullet points. Basically, they can do any action, and they count as 2 APL for controlling. And then for the greater good, whenever determining the value of accurate for the Kion, if this operative is in the kill zone, add 1 to the result of 2 or more friendly battlesuits operatives are incapacitated. So basically, if 2 guys are down, and you've got 3 suits remaining, they get +1 to the accurate as long as you get an accurate. So like, you still don't get an accurate for free all the time, but if they were in your territory, you get accurate 2. If they were next to your kill zone, you get accurate 3 and then accurate 4, I guess, if they're in your territory. So keep him alive if possible. But yeah, I do think a mix of like probably 2 late game blasters or two late game cannons, and then your lodestar, because he's gonna try and stay concealed, and maybe your designator. I would give the fusion blasters to, so late game they can just jump out, because you're already going to be close to me at that point. You can jump out and I can get my accurate bonus, and I can also get my crazy, devastating 4 piercing 2 fusion blaster off, doing 7 damage per hit, rerolling everything. Yeah, so again, they're Marine tough for the most part, like 1 or 2 less wounds. Marines typically have like 14 or 15 wounds. The Phobos Marines have 13, I think. So, but you get, you get a total of 7 models on top of that because you have the drones too. So you're not out activated and counteracting as much. And when you do counteract, it could be really savage with, jumping out and just doing shoot actions from somebody who's concealed with like a fusion blaster. And then turning them all, like as soon as someone activates within 8 of you, turning back invisible. So there's a lot of like setup and punch with like late turn activations and stuff and suckering people into your ambush points. I think they'll be fun to play. And I do think they'll be really frustrating to play against for the first little while until people figure out how to deal with the fact that they just turn invisible and disappear for most of the turn. So there it is, part 2 of Dead Silence. I think the team design is better than the campaign design, to be honest with you. And we're gonna jump in and talk about some Space Wolf skets in our 3rd video, so you can join me for that. Thanks for watching, and thanks for Workshops and Salon for me to review. Thanks to Alan Ash. Have a good one.